Students, today we are going to discuss about a new chapter that is hydrogen. Okay, so let us see hydrogen. So chapter 9 hydrogen we are discussing. Okay, so look at the periodic table. Where is the position of hydrogen in the periodic table? If you can see that the hydrogen resembles actually alkali metals, and at the same time it resembles halogen. So if you see different periodic table, you can see that the hydrogen is having different position in the periodic table. So actually we come to a compromise and we are placing it in the middle. Actually, it is resembling both alkali metals and halogen. So we cannot place hydrogen here or here. Understand? So what is the resemblance of hydrogen with alkali metals? Look at the electronic configuration of hydrogen, 1s1, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. And for potassium also, the last electron is entering into the s orbital, right? So hydrogen and alkali metal, the last electron is entering into the s orbital. So it is resembling the electronic configuration. And it is having, just like sodium and potassium in first group, it is having a tendency to lose electron and form positive ion. So it is electropositive in character, and it's oxidate to only leave one electron because it has only one electron in the outer shell. So its oxidation state is also +1. Now, like alkali metals, hydrogen also form oxides, right? Water. Oxides of hydrogen is water, hydrogen peroxide, halides. It will form halides, HS, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen bromide, etc. Hydrogen sulfide, it will form. This will resemble with the alkali metals. Now, let us see what is the resemblance with the halogen. If you see the electronic configuration, 1s1 is the electronic configuration of hydrogen, which is near to the noble gas, right? If it leaves one electron, it adds one electron, not leave. When it add one electron, it will get the noble gas configuration of helium. Same like fluorine, chlorine, and all the halogens, when it accept one electron, it will get the noble gas character. Okay, and all the halogens are non-metals, so the small non-metallic character is also there for a hydrogen. And its atomicity, just like chlorine, bromine, iodine, how we will write chlorine, bromine, and iodine, H2, Cl2, Br2, I2, like that. Like the atomicity of hydrogen is also 2, H2. We will write hydrogen as a H2, right? Now, in terms of ionization enthalpy, hydrogen resemble more with the halogens. Okay. So not only that, like halogen, it form a diatomic molecule and it combine with the elements to form hydride. It has the capacity to form hydride just like a halogen. Halogen will form HCl, HBr, etc. Hydride, it will form just like that. Hydrogen also will form hydride like sodium hydride, NaX. Okay, in terms of reactivity, it is very low as compared to halogens. Okay, now what is the unique character of hydrogen? It is actually resembling both the alkali metals and halogens. Okay, but it is extremely small as compared to normal atomic and ionic size. When it lose one electron, it become hydrogen ion, and it is extremely small as compared to normal atomic and ionic size, okay, of 50 to 200 picometer. So what will happen? H plus does not exist freely and is always associated with the other atoms or molecule. So it is unique in behavior, and therefore we cannot place it anywhere in the periodic table. We cannot place with any group. So we are separately placing it in the periodic table. Yes. Now, about the occurrence. Okay, so dihydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. If you are considering the universe, it is the most abundant element in the universe. Almost 70% of the total mass of the universe is dihydrogen. Then it is the actually It is the principal element in the solar atmosphere. Solar atmosphere is consisting mainly of hydrogen, sun, inside the sun. The giant planet Jupiter, Saturn also consist mainly of hydrogen. And due to its light nature, it is much less abundant in the Earth's atmosphere because it is having less density, it will move up. You know about hydrogen balloons, right? When you leave the hydrogen balloon, it will rise up because in the atmosphere it cannot stay because it is having less density, so that it will move up, and higher denser gases are there present in the atmosphere. Okay, in the combined form, it constitutes 15.4% of the earth crust and the ocean. Okay, in the combined form, it constitutes 15.4% of earth crust and also the ocean. It occurs in plants and animal tissue, in carbohydrates, in protein. All this area you can see the presence of hydrogen. Okay, so it is carbohydrates like sugar, different sugars, we can see hydrogen, and proteins also in NH2 group, we can see hydrogen. All the hydrates, hydrogens are present. Hydrocarbon is a compound which consists of only carbon and hydrogen, and these are the main compounds. This is all about the occurrence of occurrence of hydrogen. Now let us see the isotopes of hydrogen. Hydrogen is mainly having three isotopes. They are called protium, deuterium, and tritium. Very important, always asking in the paper, what are the different isotopes of hydrogen? They are protium, deuterium, and tritium. Okay, protium means it has only one electron and one proton, and there is no neutron. So you can find an atom with no neutron inside, that is protium. Okay, it is represented like 1H1. Okay, this is protium. So in the case of deuterium T, right? It is having one electron, one proton, one neutron. So its mass number is what? One proton and one neutron. So 1 plus 1, 2. So its mass number is 2, its atomic number is 1. So this is deuterium. And about tritium, protium, you can write like P also. Okay. And in the case of tritium, you have one electron, one proton, and two neutrons. So as a total of 3 electron, 3 nucleons, means 2 neutron and 1 proton, together 3. So the mass number should be 3 and atomic number should be 1. Okay, so this is the isotopes of hydrogen. Now all these isotopes, this isotope differ from one another in the respect of the presence of a neutron, right? Look at the neutron here. What is isotope actually? An isotope is atom of same element, okay, with the same atomic number but different mass number. We can see that all these one, the mass number is different. The mass number is protium is 1, the mass number of deuterium is 2, the mass number of tritium is 3, right? So the mass, or you can write the definition in another way. Isotope means atoms of the same element with the same number of proton but different number of neutrons. So when it differ by neutron, the atoms are called isotopes. Okay. Now, if we are looking at the occurrence of these isotopes, the prominent form is protium, 1H1. Okay, the terrestrial hydrogen contain 0.0156% of deuterium, mostly in the form of HD, combined with the hydrogen it is. The tritium concentration is about 1 atom per 1018 atom of protium. So there will be tritium. If you have 1018 atom of protium, in which only one should be tritium. It's percentages like that. Okay, of this isotope, only tritium is radioactive, and that will emit a radiation, beta radiation. Okay, so that's. Now, since the isotope, there will be a question. We can expect a question. Why does all isotope have similar? Does why does why do isotope have similar chemical properties? So you can write here the chemical properties that is completely depend upon the number of electron present in the outermost shell. Okay, so they all have protium, deuterium, and tritium. If you take all of them have one electron in the outer shell. If same number of electron in the outer shell means they have same chemical properties. So what is the reason for same chemical properties? They have same number of electron in the outer shell. The only difference is their rate of reaction. Their rate of reaction may be different because the bond breaking have different energy. Okay, the bond enthalpy will be different. That is the reason. Okay. And they have difference in the physical property. Okay, because they have difference in their mass. Okay, the mass difference is there. So now let us we are going to discuss now about the hydrides. Okay, so dihydrogen under certain condition combine with almost all elements except noble gases. Dihydrogen has the capacity to combine with the all elements and it will form binary compounds, that is called hydrides. Okay, so we have actually some equation to write. Actually, E is the symbol of an element. Then hydrate can be represented as EHX. Okay, EHX. EHX. Okay, so if it is with the metal, we can represent as MgH2. Okay, if it is with a non-metal like a boron, B2H6. It is having a formula to represent it. Okay, so these are the example for metallic hydride. Actually, sorry, hydrides. And the hydrides we can classify into three. What are the three different hydrides? These are the three different hydrates: ionic or saline hydrates, ionic or saline or salt-like hydrate. That is one, ionic, positive and negative. Okay, ionic or saline or salt-like hydrate. And covalent or molecular hydrate. And the last one is metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrate. Okay, so among this, ionic hydrate is stoichiometric hydrate and metallic hydrate is non-stoichiometric hydrate. Now, ionic or saline hydrate we can see. So what is important about saline hydrate? These are stoichiometric. Already we discussed it is stoichiometric compounds of dihydrogen. Okay, and this is formed, okay, with most of the S block elements. So when it combined with S block element, we are going to get this line or ionic hydrate. Okay. And there are some covalent characters also showing here, which are the hydrate, which is showing covalent character, lithium hydrate, beryllium hydrate. So the first members of the group, like lithium hydrate, beryllium hydrate, magnesium hydrate, these are forming some covalent character also. And beryllium hydrate and magnesium hydrate actually will form polymeric structure also. Okay, so we have learned about ionic or saline hydrate. That means it is formed, the hydrates are formed with S block elements because they are highly electropositive. And even then there are some exceptional case that can show covalent character. Example for them are lithium hydrate, beryllium hydrate, and magnesium hydrate. Beryllium hydrate and magnesium hydrate are polymeric also in nature. Okay, they will form polymers. Now, okay. The ionic hydrates, what are the properties of ionic hydrates? The ionic hydrates are crystalline, non-volatile. What is crystalline in nature? Not amorphic, no crystalline in nature. Non-volatile, not easily convert into gas. That is what non-volatile means. Okay, non-conducting, it will not conduct electricity in solid state. Okay, just like ionic compound we have learned, they will not conduct electricity in solid state, but they will conduct electricity in the melt form. Okay, molten form. So the same thing will happen here also. Their melt conduct electricity, and on electrolysis it will liberate dihydrogen gas at anode also. Okay, so that which confirm the existence of H minus. H minus is existing, we are proving using this electrolysis. Okay, so the ionic hydrates, what are the property? Crystalline, non-volatile. They will not conduct electricity in solid state, but they will conduct electricity in a which state? Molten state, and they liberate hydrogen gas, and this prove the existence of H minus ions. Okay, let us see the reaction. Look, in the melt, suppose it is sodium hydrate, how we will sodium hydrate in the molten state, it will be Na plus and H minus. So H minus will be existing in the molten form, and that H minus ion, when it move to the anode, what it will do? It will release electron and produce hydrogen gas. Okay, it really is each hydrogen is having one extra electron here, that will remove, each one will remove one electron, because there are two hydrogen, two electron it will remove and form hydrogen gas. Saline hydrate react violently with water, producing dihydrogen. If it has a capacity to react with violently, it is reacting with the water, and it will form the corresponding alkali. Okay, alkali, and it will form hydrogens. Okay, we can see bubbles when sodium hydroxide is putting in water. We can observe bubbles because of the formation of a hydrogen gas. Okay, now, lithium hydrate, another example. Lithium hydrate is rather unreactive or moderate temperature with oxygen or chlorine. Okay, it is almost unreactive. It is therefore used in the synthesis of other useful hydrates. Okay, it is used for the, actually it is unreactive in moderate temperature. So it is used for the preparation of other hydrates. Let us see example how it is preparing other hydrates. It is a very important hydrate, lithium aluminum hydrate, lithium boron hydrate. All the preparation of lithium aluminum hydrate and lithium boron hydrate, we are using lithium hydride. When it reacts with aluminum chloride, Al2Cl6, we will get lithium aluminum hydrate and lithium chloride. When lithium hydrate react with B2H6, we will get lithium BH4, boron hydride. Okay, these two are very important compounds. Okay. Now, next we are going to learn about covalent or molecular hydrate. What is a covalent or molecular hydrate? Dihydrogen form molecular compound with P block. So already we learned that ionic compounds, ionic hydrates are forming with the S block elements. So dihydrogen form molecular compound with the P block elements. Okay, so whenever P block element is concerned, covalent or molecular hydrate is forming. Example for that is CH4. This is P block. Nitrogen is P block, and HF. For convenience, hydrogen compound of non-metal. We are saying that for non-metal, the hydrogen compounds or non-metals are considered to be which hydrate? Covalent or molecular hydrate. They are volatile compound. Before we learned that ionic hydrates are not volatile, but this is volatile. It will easily convert into gases. We know ammonia already existing as a, NH3 is already existing as a gas, and CH4. Methane is also a gas. Water easily convert into gas. HF also easily convert into gas. Okay. And these molecular hydrates are further classified into three: electron deficient, electron precise, and electron rich hydrate. So from the name itself, we can easily understand what are them. Electron deficient means that there is deficiency of electron. And electron deficient hydrate, if you take the molecule as a whole, there will be deficiency of electron. Has too few electrons for writing its covalently. If you are writing the Lewis structure, you can see that it is not having the sufficient number of electron inside it. That is called diborane is an example, very important. An electron deficient hydrate example, diborane. They act as Lewis acid, electron acceptors. They are actually electron acceptors because they have deficiency of electron, right? So it will accept a pair of electron. So they will be acting as Lewis acid. So what is electron precise compound? Electron precise compound means enough electrons are there. If you are writing Lewis structure, you will get enough number of electron inside that. So actually electron deficient compounds are forming using group 13 elements. Okay, so electron precise is forming using group 14 elements. Okay, and all elements of group 14 form such compounds like electron precise compound. We know CH for enough number of electron, that is 8 electrons are there in the outer shell. Now, electron rich hydrates have excess electron which are present as a lone pair. So now we are discussing about the electron rich hydrides. Okay, what is electron rich hydrides? Have excess electron. Rich means more electron. It must contain lone pair of electron. Actually, group 15 to 17 form such compounds. Okay, ammonia, nitrogen is having lone pair, water is having 2 lone pair, fluorine is having 3 lone pair. Okay, so they will behave as Lewis base. Base means a substance which will donate a pair of electron during the reaction. So this is electron donors. Okay, the previously we discussed electron deficient. They have a tendency to accept a pair of electrons, so they are Lewis acids. Okay, they will behave as Lewis bases. The presence of lone pairs on highly electronegative atom like nitrogen, oxygen. So already we have learned in the last lesson what is hydrogen bond. Since it consists of nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine, which is attached to the hydrogen atom, these are all highly electronegative. They have a tendency to form hydrogen bond also. Okay, and this will result in the formation of molecular association. Okay, that's all. Now, metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrate. What is metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrate? These are formed by many D block and F block elements. These are formed by many D block and F block. So far we discussed S and P block. Now as far as D block and F block is concerned, this will form metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrate. The metal of group 7, 8, 9 do not form hydrate. Even in transition metal 7, 8, 9 are not going to form hydrate. If you are taking group 6 only, chromium will form. Okay, so these hydrates conduct heat and electricity. Just like metal, it will conduct heat and electricity, not as efficiently as their parent. Metals are good conductors of electricity. Metal hydrates are not much efficient, but even then they will conduct electricity. Okay, now saline hydrates, they are almost always saline hydrates are actually stoichiometric, we learned, but these hydrates are non-stoichiometric. Okay, if something is non-stoichiometric, we will write the number. It has deficiency of hydrogen, so we will write it like 2.87 YbH 2.55. These are the examples. The law of constant composition is actually not holding good in these type of compound. Okay, the property of absorption. So actually these metallic hydrates are having the capacity to absorb hydrogen. So it is having a very good catalytic property. Okay, palladium, platinum, etc. can absorb hydrogen on it. Okay, so it has a better property, catalytic property. Okay, and earlier what we were believing was the atom which is not sufficient, that is entering into the interstitial spaces. Okay, so but if recent studies have shown that except the hydrate of nickel, palladium, and cesium and AC, other hydrates of this class have lattice different from that of the parent metal. Their lattice entirely is going to change. Okay, now some of the metal like palladium and platinum can accommodate a very large volume of hydrogen inside that, so it will act as storage media also. So hydrogen potential for hydrogen storage media, who will act as hydrogen storage media, metal like palladium and platinum. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.